Hello there, this is Dave Allen for Good and Geeky, and today I want to have a look at an application I really like. I use it all the time for my text, and it's called Draft. And here you can see the basic space that we've got here for working in Draft. Over on the left hand side here we've got our workspaces, and I've got nothing showing in there at the moment because all of the stuff that I have have been flagged or archived, or if I want to show all of it, it's there, or some of it has been moved into trash. That's the workspaces end of things there, and I've got a few workspaces set up for all things that come in from the watch, things to do with work, things to do with my electric vehicle, things to do with money, and so on. And I can go to any one of these here and look at the notes that I've made, or the drafts that I've made just on those particular types of thing. So that's your workspaces over there, and over on the right hand side there you've got your groups. Now these groups here are basically things you can do with the text that you've got in this area here. So for instance, we've got various groups for basic, when you're working with Markdown, so you can do a preview in Markdown with Swiss. So that's a preview there, and it's a good way of looking at this thing. So I can have a look at, or I can send it off to Ulysses inbox. So there's lots of different things you can do with your groups there to sort it out. If I want to send something off to social, so if I want to send it off to a Twitter account, I can do it from here. And then I've got a few things. These ones here with KB at the beginning of them, those are keyboard things. So this is the Markdown keyboard down at the bottom, the KB Markdown keyboard here. And you can set it up so that your workspace, as soon as you go into a specific workspace, it'll set up with the right group for whatever you're working on. So basically when you set up so the workspaces, if you go into the workspace for, say, for instance, day one. So you can see it all changed there. So I've got a different set of keyboard automations down here, and I've got a different group over on the side here. So that's a good way of setting up your drafts. Okay, so let's look at something that's new, that's recently happened with drafts. I really like it. It's really very good, and you could use this for working on some sort of project. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to these groups over here. I'm going to change to the cross-linking group, and what I want to do is I want to set up a new workspace over here. Set up a project, in fact. So let's set up this project, and the project name is going to be YouTube, and the tags for this is going to be YouTube and test. Okay, so if anything I put in this workspace here is going to have those two tags with it. It'll help find it and it'll put it into the right workspace. So let's create that. And as you see, it's changed over here. So we've got the YouTube workspace over here, and it's given us our first draft in here. And basically it's just given us a title. We've got the Markdown header one there, YouTube table of contents, and this is where we're going to put all our stuff in there. And it's already put in there with this tab, a dash and a space. You can get rid of those if you want to. You don't have to have those in if you don't want to. You can start with a plain sort of screen, as it were. But the first thing we want to do is we want to set up a new linked draft, and let's put that new linked draft in there, and this is going to be chapter 1, and the tags are already in there. Look, YouTube and test, and we'll click on create, and what this has done is created a wiki sort of link, not wicked but wiki. So if I click on this here now, it's going to take me to the chapter 1 document here, chapter 1 drafts, and underneath there it gives us the backlink back into the index. So if I tap on back on there, it takes us back into the table of contents. And I can do the same thing again here, click on new link draft, and this is going to be chapter 2, and again we'll have the tags in there created, and we've got our index, and we've got 2 links underneath there for our first 2 chapters. And so you should just keep going with this here just as much as you want, and keep going. So you can organise it, and you could use this for writing some sort of book or any sort of project or something like that there. So that gives us a way of working. Now another thing you can do with this here is that you can have it so that it inserts a workspace link. So if you want to have it, for whatever reason, you want to go from one of your documents here, and you want to go and have it look in a particular workspace. So double click on insert workspace link, and then you can choose from which workspace you want to go into. So I'm going to go into encryption, so click on that there and insert link. So there you go. So now every time I tap on that one there or click on that one there, it opens up the encryption workspace. Looks like there's nothing in there, but if I go to archive, you can see I've got quite a few things in there. It shows that I have been working with that encryption workspace. And let's go back into the previous one here, change the workspace back into YouTube. We've got all our stuff back in there again. In fact, what I'll do is let's just go into this one here, go into one of these and let's put all up there. And I'm going to go into all, so I'm going to show everything that's there, and I'm going to go to privacy and anonymity. This is a recent blog post that I put up on Good and Geeky about how Session, which is a new messaging app which is better than Signal. It uses Signal protocol, but it also gives you anonymity, and I really like it. I think it's pretty good. There's a few rough edges to it yet, but it actually works. And another good thing that it has is the fact that it gives you exploding or automatically disappearing messages. So you can set a message to disappear for 1 minute up to 1 week after it's been seen. And that is really good in these times of Black Lives Matter and people like George Floyd getting killed by those people over America, those bad cops. I used to be a cop, and I think the cops over in America, they don't seem to realise that when they have somebody under arrest, that person is not just under their control, as it were, but they're also there under their care. So they are responsible for that person. You can't just go kneeling on somebody's neck and sort of squeezing the life out of them and think you can get away with it. So that's my 2 pence on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I want to go to the bottom of this bit here, and I'm going to tap on this thing for information, and I'm going to copy the UUID, which is the Universal Identifying Link. So now that I've got that into my clipboard, I'm going to go back into the workspace over here, go to YouTube, which is our thing that we're working on here, go to the table of contents. And what I can do with this here is I can make this go to that draft I was just working on there, or was looking at there. And all I've got to do is put in 2 of these square brackets to start with, then put in a U and then a colon, and then do Command and paste. So Command V, and then I'm going to put in 2 more square brackets on to finish that off. And now that is the link that will take me back to a specific draft. It doesn't look very nice having this big sort of universal identifying sort of number here, but it works, look. So if I click on that, it's taking us back to the privacy and anonymity draft I was working on before. There is a directory of actions that you can get actions from. So this is Dave Allen for Good and Geeky, showing you how you can get things done with drafts as a wiki, where you can link from one thing to another. So I'm linking to the encryption workspace there, and this one here I'm going to a specific draft. It's brilliant. I love this application draft, and I highly recommend it. It's well worth the subscription I paid to get it, but there is a free version that you can use as well, and you do get access to some of the groups and some of the actions available, and it's worth getting out just to try it out and see if you like it. And I use it all the time because I think it's a good idea to for capturing text in some place like this and then sending it on somewhere else, because it gives you a automatic backup, as it were. So this, for instance, here is something I was working on for my blog. So I put everything into here first, and then when I send it off to somewhere else, then I still have the copy of it here, and it's always something I can go back to and refer to at a later stage. Bye bye now. Talk to you again soon.